Melanie Naismith here, and this is Sounds Like Us. Today's guest is artist and painter Barbara Pritchard. Sounds Like Us is a community artist project brought to you by Working for Victoria and Tauranga Shire Council. The aim of this series is to shine a light on creatives that have been influenced by the Tauranga Shire and to share a brief snapshot of their journey within the arts. Barbara, thank you so much for coming on board with Sounds Like Us. I got given your name because you're a painter from Walwa, but there's much more to your story, which I found out the other day. Can you share to the people within the Tauranga Shire a little bit about yourself and how you got into painting?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I came to Walwa as a nurse, as the wife of one of the local doctors. And so I decided, even though I was working, that I really wanted to pursue my interest in the arts. And so I took some watercolour lessons with a woman called Peg Mann, who was a really good watercolourist. And so I went up with another artist too. And then I just kept on drawing, and it was really important for me to keep carrying a sketchbook with me everywhere I went. And so I did lots of sketches of the locals, and whenever we had a party, I'd be sitting in the corner drawing people and just generally doing little watercolours. When I was driving around visiting people, I'd stop and do a watercolour. So I just started like that, being really enthralled and interested in the landscape mainly, but also people. So then my work as a nurse kind of changed because I decided to get into colour therapy. I started to study energetic healing, and through that I started to pursue colour therapy and devised my own classes in colour therapy and started to present those at conferences in Australia and in the USA, and in the end was running classes over there in 5 states and here in Australia too on healing with colour. So that was sort of an extension of my artwork and understanding how powerful colour is in bringing healing and health and well-being to people, because it's connected to people's emotions and how they feel. So I pursued that right through the 90s and going over to the USA and travelling around Australia teaching. And then every now and again I'd have an exhibition, which was, and I was building my own place, and I had 3 children as well. So, it was sort of pretty hectic and full on. And I can even remember at one stage a bit of a storm came through and I had an exhibition in half a house that I was halfway through building, and I had to rush out and pick up all the paintings and run them inside, and they were half wet and so forth. So it was all a bit crazy, but it was totally enjoyable, as it still is. From there, eventually I wound up some of my work in the USA and the colour therapy because I really wanted to concentrate more on my career as an artist and become much more self-sufficient in that. And also I wanted to develop more as an artist. So quite recently, actually, just 2014-15, I went off to TAFE and did an advanced diploma of visual arts. And that was really great, just networking with other artists and learning a lot. I've got a lot of respect for teachers who they dedicate their whole lives to educating people into understanding art. And when you understand art, you understand more about the environment and what's around you, and you become more observant. And this is going on rather long time.
No. It's doing great. I don't even have to ask questions. You're answering them all before I need to ask them. With your art, you're saying you've got a respect for teachers, but you're also very community driven as well. I've sort of found out you've got an interest in connecting communities.
Yeah, I have. I helped to establish an arts. So it's an arts group here in the Upper Murray called Bridge the River Arts, and we've had a couple of groups like that, but this one's been going for 10 years and I'm secretary of that. Look, we've done quite a few things. We've had festivals, we've had art exhibitions, we've had visiting artists, we've had work in schools, and we're still doing that with the latest project, which is called Art Jam. And so there's quite a few fantastic local artists that are on board with it, and they've worked really hard. And that's really important, I think, for working in the schools, working in the community, bringing art to the people and helping them to maybe, particularly the kids, understand contemporary art. Because, here in the Upper Murray, we don't really get so much exposure to contemporary art. And look, honestly, I can say I didn't get that much until I went to TAFE and got really an education in that. So that's really good to have that opportunity to help those kids and the community be exposed to the understanding of contemporary art now and bring it what the world has to offer in the arts. Not only painting, of course, music and performance and all the other arts, the more modern concepts to the Upper Murray. I just wish there could be so much more. I really think that the arts has got so much to offer in education and making people, or helping people, I should say, understand more about connecting into community, to each other, and the environment, particularly the environment. I'm really environmentally conscious. A lot of my work is in textiles, eco-printing, which I started doing about 6 years ago. And that's a process that was devised by an Australian woman, India Flint, and it's taken off all over the world. It's making a print from particularly eucalypts in the bush onto textile fabrics, particularly protein fabrics. So I incorporate that in my work. More recently in textiles, I've been using it a lot with paint and just trying to extend the whole concept of what textiles can bring as an understanding in the environment, and also to keep my work really particularly eco-friendly, because I think as artists we've really got to be leaders in this field for sustainable fashion and sustainable practice.
Barbara, can you just tell me what's involved with using eucalypt for your art? Because I'm assuming there's a little bit of a process and maybe a little bit of extra work that people balk at potentially.
Yes, it's actually quite a simple process, and people have been using natural dyes for centuries and centuries. There's a great history and tradition backing up the use of traditional dyes, using natural leaves and bark and mosses for dyeing fabrics. So it's taking that process to another level where you actually take the leaf and you put it into the fabric and you really just roll it up depending on the pH of the solution that you're using with it. So things have to be acid, although, it's a study. There are books on it, and look, honestly, people can Google it, and it's just called eco-printing. And, I love the modern media and all the communication that goes on with it, because there's so much education that can be provided out there. If you can't get to classes, you can always Google it. It is great.
Now, dare I say, I'm just going to point out that you are over 30 and you have adapted and are learning all these amazing tricks. So it's never too late to sort of start and explore and learn and evolve, and you seem to be a testament to that. You're talking a lot about contemporary and stuff, which may be seen to be a younger person's demographic or a genre that they are more likely to follow. So I'm loving this about you and the way that you're talking about all these things so passionately. It's sparking happy vibes. Just one more thing. I just want to know what your favourite colour is from colour therapy.
Gosh, Now, it's interesting. I was asked this as a child, of course, and I made the mistake of saying the rainbow,
Yeah.
which a lot of children do because, all the colours are just reflected in nature. But I've got to say that orange is probably my favourite colour. Here I am with orange on. And that you can obtain orange from eucalypts, some certain types of eucalypts. And I love that because it's almost like you've got the blood of the plant, that's coming through. And, of course, you get greens and so forth. But, yeah, orange, which, of course, means youthfulness and vitality and, a little bit crazy. Orange usually means.
No, well, I wouldn't have
That's all okay.
Thought you're crazy wearing the blood of trees around your neck, but that's fine. Barbara.
Well, the sap of trees is like the blood of trees, I guess, isn't
no,
it?
I'm only stirring. There's another thing that you're just part of before I cut you off. You're working on another project and you'd like to help connect artists. So what are you part of in that regard?
Yeah, okay. So I've just been appointed to the Murray Arts Strategic Advisory Committee, and through that I really hope that I can gather together some information from local people, community and artists to get to know more about what the community want, or even help the community and give some direction into what would be a really good kind of, I guess it's a bit of an experimentation in a way. It's also about having fun, bringing arts to the community and having the community engage with the arts is so healing and so much fun. And also it expands people. It's magic. It's really, once you delve into the arts and every aspect of it, you never stop learning. It's just great.
So, Barbara, how can we get hold of you and how can we view your work?
Google Barbara Pritchard and Bridge the River Arts.
Easy.
That should get to me.
Barbara, thank you so much for joining us on Sounds Like Us, and I can't wait to see the projects that you are part of in connecting the community in the future. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, Mel, it's been lovely talking to you.
Hasn't it? It's been great. Today's episode of Sounds Like Us was hosted by Melanie Naismith and produced by Joshua Liston. Sounds Like Us was made possible by Working for Victoria and Tauranga Shire Council. For more information on Sounds Like Us and to hear more episodes from local creatives, go to tauranga.vic.gov.au.